Hey there guys, this is Sam
and Justin
at the Survival Review.
And it is October, which means Halloween.
Halloween. And in honor of Halloween, we are going to review some horror movies.
Oh yeah.
Some of my personal favorites from the legendary George A. Romero.
Yeah.
And we're going to start out, of course, with Night of the Living Dead. A classic.
Oh yeah. The original.
The original, not one of the million remakes. Although the Tom Savini one wasn't that bad.
It was alright.
But
on with the review.
On with the review. Alright, so the basic plot is that brother and sister both go to a cemetery to sort of pay respects to their mother. They don't really say who.
It's a family member.
It's a family member. Essentially, she's kind of creeped out by the whole atmosphere of the cemetery, and he, being kind of a douchey brother, starts to sort of torment her and pretend like he's a monster and telling the famous line, "They're coming to get you, Barbara," and then turns out they actually are. And so he gets, he's fine. He's fine. Stuff happens, yeah. And the rest of the movie ends up taking place in a nearby farmhouse, and they meet up with this other guy. I can't remember his name.
The black guy?
Yeah.
Ben.
Ben. You racist. And anyway, they're in the house and they're trying to board it up, and she's being like little baby. I broke the chair again. Right. And she's like a baby on the couch, and she never speaks a word basically the rest of the movie.
And then it ends up there was a family that was
there was a family that was hiding in the basement, and you learn to hate the dad.
The dad, his daughter was bitten, so she's just laying in the basement.
Guess what happens to her?
She turns out all right. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the dad, he's the one that's always just like, we should just hide, you know, of that. And you hate him.
You really do learn to hate him, and they actually, in the remake, the Tom Savini remake, they made it even worse. They made you hate him even worse, and they changed the ending to be a little bit
happier for
the audience, and
a little bit happier.
But otherwise, that remake was almost exact.
Yeah, it was pretty simple.
But
back to the original.
Back to the original.
That's the original. That's the base.
We didn't mention it is from the late 60s, wasn't it?
68.
68. And it is in black and white.
Yeah. Which helps out a lot.
It really does.
Just build the atmosphere.
And you can probably guess that there's zombies in this movie.
Yeah. It's the first.
If you didn't figure that out by now, you should probably go
watch the movie.
Watch the movie.
Don't die, just watch the movie.
We'll die, then come back, and then watch the movie.
Or just watch the movie. And it's the first real flesh-eating zombie movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because you
have White Zombie.
Yeah, but that was all voodoo and stuff like that. This is the one where the dead are coming back to life, and they're eating the flesh of the living.
And George Romero started something that is still not stopped to this day. Yeah. He's since made 5 more zombie films.
Which will be 2
one more if you include The Crazies, which I don't.
Nah.
I do know people that include The Crazies as a zombie movie.
I felt the remake was more of a zombie movie than
the remake
original.
Was a bit more. Still not a zombie movie though.
Back on the Night of the Living Dead.
We keep getting sidetracked.
It's alright. It's alright.
So, in my opinion, it's one of the best zombie films ever made. Obviously, because I mean George Romero. I mean, his original 3 movies are definitely the top 3 zombie movies in existence for most zombie movie fans. And so, in order of my favorite, I go Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, then Night.
Night's my second.
Night's his second?
Yeah, Dawn's my first.
Okay.
Night's my second.
See,
what's interesting about the movie is how it just starts. There's no real explanation for anything that's going on. You know, like the movie, just opening scene, they're at the cemetery, and just all of a sudden there's a zombie, and just stuff is happening.
Yeah, it really gets you into the action of the zombies fairly quickly, and for the time, like
For the time,
it's really it must have been scary as all hell back then.
Yeah.
And to be completely honest, it really hasn't aged badly. It can really still scare you to this day. The first time I saw it was when I was like 6 or 7, and it really did give me a scare the first time. And if you're used to seeing the horror movies of today, where it's all gore and it's all really jump scares, you won't quite.
There is a scene of the zombies eating body parts, but
it does get pretty gruesome.
But it's not like.
And it's in black and white.
So. But to me, that's what makes it feel even more like gross, because usually that stuff is happening in color movies.
And very similar to Psycho, since it was in black and white, they actually, at least I've heard, they used chocolate syrup in some parts as blood.
Oh yeah, they used it. I can't give away the spoiler. But for one of the characters that gets killed.
Oh, they get killed? You spoiler bastard!
I never said who, but but yeah, like also what's interesting about that is just the fact that you feel like black and white movies are always the most like innocent horror movies.
Yeah.
Then you got Night of the Living Dead, which just has dead people eating body parts. And like people getting shot, and kind of like
it was pretty
kind of.
Yeah, it was really good for an independent film.
Yeah. Like, especially for that time.
Exactly.
It must have been like insane.
And it just blew up back then. I mean, everybody was talking about it, and it got so popular that eventually.
I heard after that the rating system came into effect.
Yeah, I did hear that. Because I mean.
Well, yeah.
Damn.
I'm
sure there were like some 4-year-olds. Let's go see a movie film.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Like it was playing like a Saturday matinee like once. Because it's just not a movie dead. It's just a horror movie where dead guys keep coming back to life. Ooh, there's more to it than that. But not only that, like it's really character focused.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, you really do. The only character that like you really never feel connected to is Barbara.
Yeah.
Because she really stops speaking pretty close to the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And you never really do feel quite connected with her. I mean, she did lose somebody.
Yeah,
but she just feels like she's an idiot. You just feel like she's an idiot.
Yeah.
Like she's stupid the whole movie because she just is like has a blank. It kind of reminds me of like just how sometimes people act by just having a blank face. Like this is sad. This is angry. This is.
That's what.
Like and that's the way she was in this film.
You feel like, oh, I kind of feel bad for you, but come on.
Give some emotion.
Yeah, do something. Like, help us out at least.
Yeah.
Instead of just sitting there the whole time.
So, I absolutely love this film.
Oh, yeah.
I've watched it since I was pretty young, and I watch it every Halloween. So
out of 10.
Out of 10, I give this movie a good 9.5 or a 10.
Yeah.
Probably 9.5.
I was thinking it too. Around 9.5, and in that range.
I mean, I rarely give films a 10 out of 10.
And I do have to admit, there are some kind of slow parts.
There are. The movie does have its flaws.
Like, if you're just, like, rewatching it for the heck of it, you might just be a little bit bored for a little bit. Especially if you know what's going on. Unless you're in, like, the right mood, then you love it the whole way through. But if you're just like, oh, yeah, Night of the Dead, you put it on because you've seen it before, you might be like, oh, it's a little slow. You kind of know what I mean? Like, it has those kind of slow moments, but it's still, like, really good. So I think that's why I'd go with 9.5.
Yeah.
Not exactly a 10, but
not quite,
just about there. Just
very
about
close.
there. So, yeah.
Alrighty, so that's our review of the Night of the Living Dead.
That was only the beginning.
That's only the beginning, because we're going to do all the Romero films.
Okay.
Even the newer ones.
Which only came out, like, 3 or so years ago.
Yeah.
So that's kind of crazy that.
So, like,
series.
yeah, the first 3, 10 years apart. The last 3, like, 3 years apart at the most.
It was interesting how, like, but it's also cool how the first one was 1968, and it's still going on.
Yeah, I really wish.
Cool.
We've mentioned this before. It would be really cool if they made Land of the Dead in the 90s.
Yeah.
Then Diary of the Dead in the 2000s.
And just kind of
and then
not
survival.
Or unless.
Maybe not done survival.
Yeah, or just.
Or at least made a different movie.
Or at least wait till like maybe 2010s if Romero's still doing movies. Yeah. So like there's a good 10-year gap.
But I personally hope that he does make another film,
Mm-hmm.
a zombie film. A lot of people are saying he should stop at least at, well, he said 6 is a good number to stop at.
Yeah.
Three classics, 3 okay ones. In my opinion, I don't want Survival to be the last one.
Yeah.
I know that George Romero
Yeah.
has more in him.
I
know he does.
One big
He
epic finale.
and
You know?
I'm not expecting Dawn of the Dead quality.
No.
I'm not even expecting Night of the Living Dead or Day of the Dead quality.
But just something.
Heck, just something as good as Land of the Dead.
Yeah, yeah.
Land of the Dead was
Something that's
really good.
It's
I
really
enjoyed
rewatchable and really
exactly.
Just
So-
great kind of like send out to the series ish.
Yeah, and I know he has the ability to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe he has a plan. Maybe he doesn't. I haven't heard anything.
Maybe he was just doing it to mess with the. He made the 2 bad ones, and he's just like,
Yeah, like-
here's the good one.
I actually saw Survival of the Dead in. I'll talk about
Yeah,
that.
we'll talk about that.
Talk about that in
Survival.
the future.
So
from now
that's
on.
Night of the Living Dead,
Night of the Living Dead.
and yeah.
Yeah, stay tuned for Dawn of the Dead.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Got a lot to say about that one.
Yeah.